in the image. So that.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
This is the driveway. Just threw it in the driveway. This would seal the road. They drive it with 5 miles an hour on it.
They just
They gotta put
feel-
sand on it. And you gotta wait till it's done.
They just did,
Yeah, but it was out of the drive, they didn't even hang it up on it, just threw it in the driveway. That's impressive.
Like a chip and seal kind of thing, or is it?
Time to go.
Buttons are up on the red button.
This one is that one? Thank you.
Try and get it so we have 2 mics.
They were being loud up there today.
Are they?
what is up there?
It's the weight room.
It sounds
Work
like,
on
it sounds like a weight room, actually.
Mhm.
The barbell just went up.
The oil in the trucks.
My nephew wants to buy a grandchild. He's gonna buy a- The volunteer now.
How is he?
That's just me coming in case I need to share my screen for any reason. Showing me up there, but it kicked me out. So I don't know. Okay. Is not responding.
Is this our last meeting?
We're gonna talk about that. It's not your last one, but it's gonna be your last one for a little bit.
'Cause I mean, we're supposed to be done by July.
No, how about August?
Yep, we'll go through all that. Yep.
That's on the agenda, Chris.
It
It says review.
You know, I read everything but the agenda.
So, last item, review calendar and process to draft that Dutch is gonna write.
Yes.
My I'm just spinning on Zoom. I mean, it's has me up there, but I'm just spinning.
Well, do we have to show anything?
Nope. I mean, I just was gonna do it in case I needed to share anything, but I don't think so. I think it's fine.
I think we should get started.
Yep, I agree.
Sooner we start, sooner we can end.
Yeah.
So we got one. One mic, just like Graham last time.
I made you a co-host.
Thank you. It just keeps telling me that Zoom is not responding, so I don't know.
Yeah, and it's not seeing your micro. I don't know, something's goofy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna close it out. If I need to share something, I'll try to rejoin if I need to, but. All right, we're good.
Okay, let's get started.
Sorry. Right.
Does anybody, do we hear from you?
Yeah, I do need to bring that up. So Amy called me today and said that she has had some changes in her both her work and her profession or her professional and her personal life. And so she needs to step back. So I told her that's fine, I understand. She asked if there was anything that she could do. And I said, well, we have these field trips coming up. I said, one of the places on my list is Clay, Indiana, which nobody's gonna want to drive all the way there and drive
Oh,
all
I'll
the way back.
Oh, I.
Oh, you did?
actually-
Okay, all right.
That was really cool.
Cool, all right.
I
already
don't know
done it?
when.
You've already done it?
No, I thought it was just.
Okay, if you guys wanna do it,
I
that's
looked
fine.
it up and that was like, oh gosh, that's
Cool. She's gonna do a virtual one too, but you guys can go personally. That's great.
I'm not sure that I point to,
yeah.
but I'm saying
Yeah.
I would like to.
Yeah,
I could.
okay. So, but she is gonna do that virtually. She's gonna do a virtual review online. She's gonna contact some of our realtor friends that might do business over there. And get some information and report back on that. She just can't get to these meetings, which there aren't that many anyway. So I told her we're pretty much good. So she felt really bad because she's like, I don't like not finishing to what I commit to, but
Family.
so yes, absolutely. So that's the status. If you guys want to appoint a vice chair, you can, but again, I mean, we have this meeting and maybe one more, so. But she was the vice chair, so. All right.
I'll leave that up to the president.
The chair. How do you guys feel about having a vice chair? I mean, it'd be nice to have somebody probably who. Anybody want to raise their hand?
What's the role? I mean, it's just.
If I
it's
can't
just if
make
you
it, you
can't make
have
it,
to-
run
yeah,
the meeting.
Run a little meeting.
I could do that.
Yeah. Chris. Chris wants to be, yeah, I can't do. Yeah. Good not to have a lot to do, right? Okay.
Okay.
Why don't we start with the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, Tom.
Yeah, made it.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah.
So can I ask you a favor? I'd like each of you go one by one and say your name. I'm hoping that the system will be able to pick up the different voices and the previous thing. Otherwise, I think it's contributed to Dutch, which is okay, but
Or Mike, somebody.
Before we do that, this is Kelsey.
I apologize for walking in a little later.
She is our newest employee. She started literally, her first day was our last committee meeting, and I didn't want to make her come to a night meeting on her first day to meet you all. So I've been looking forward to it.
Kelsey.
That's it. That's the way. Kelsey Grammer type.
That took me back a bit. Great show. Okay, who wants to start? You want to start, Holly?
Sure, I'm Holly Matty.
Chris Truex.
Jeff Ferguson.
Maureen Snowden.
Dutch Holland.
Alice Uhas.
Okay. Do you want to read minutes? Do you have minutes for the meeting?
Actually, I want you to do that again because I didn't say, yes, it's okay to teach in school.
All right, I'm Holly Matty.
Kelsey Miller.
Chris Truex.
Tom Eldred.
Jeff Ferguson.
Maureen Snowden.
Dutch Holland.
Alice Uhas.
Thank you. Holly, so I sent the minutes
Mhm.
to you. Do you have them?
You want me to read them out loud?
Yeah, what,
I can. All right, meeting opening. David opened the meeting with a call. Maureen opened the meeting with a call to order and the Pledge of Allegiance. Call to order. Maureen initiated the meeting by calling into order, ensuring all participants were ready to begin. Pledge of Allegiance. Maureen led the attendees in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to formally open the government meeting. Approval of minutes. I don't know who made motions. I don't have
So
that
I
down.
made a motion.
Okay.
Chris made.
All right, so Chris made a motion, or they discussed the minutes in the last meeting, noting corrections and improving them. Chris made a motion, or no, there were some identified corrections in the minutes, including the correct name for the vice chair, Amy Clark, and a missing letter in the homework assignment. Minutes were approved after discussions and corrections. The minutes from the last meeting were approved by the attendees. Community-wide meeting recap. Maureen and Holly recap the community-wide meeting, highlighting the annexation process and strategic priorities. Annexation process. Holly explained the annexation process initiated by Columbus This should be non-annexation process. I think it just didn't pick up that. So we might want to make sure that's reflected in the minutes because that's kind of important. Including the non-annexation of Blendon Township, not Linden Township, in Franklin County up the Hoover Reservoir. Strategic priorities. Holly discussed the strategic priorities identified during the community-wide meeting, focusing on communications and collaboration. Community feedback. Participants provided feedback on the strategic priorities, emphasizing the importance of effective communication and collaboration with residents and regional partners. Columbus meeting summary. Amy summarized the meeting with Columbus, discussing annexation, sewer agreements, and potential growth. Non-annexation agreement. Amy detailed the non-annexation agreement with Columbus, highlighting the focus on protecting drinking water and prohibition of annexation outside the growth corridor. Sewer agreements. Amy explained the sewer agreements discussed, including the decision not to extend sewage into Delaware County and the implications for local development. Potential growth. Amy described the potential growth areas, including the northeast corner for commercial and industrial zoning and the impact on local infrastructure. Community benefits. Amy outlined the benefits for the community, such as the income tax revenue from businesses and the prohibition of annexation by Columbus, ensuring local autonomy. Soup sessions. Participants shared their experience from the soup sessions, discussing community preferences and concerns. Community preferences. Participants expressed a preference for maintaining the status quo, emphasizing the desire to keep the rural character of the township. Concerns raised. Concerns were raised about potential development, including the impact of sewer systems and the desire to avoid fast food chains in favor of local businesses. Suggestions for improvement. Suggestions included buying open space to retain the rural character and creating a community center with local shops and amenities. Feedback on zoning. Participants discussed zoning preferences, including the desire for larger lot sizes and strict architectural standards to maintain the rural aesthetic. Education and communication. Maureen and Holly discussed the importance of educating the community on zoning development tools and communication strategies. Zoning education. Maureen emphasized the need to educate residents on existing zoning resolutions and overlays to ensure informed community participation. Development tools. Holly discussed various development tools, including JED agreements and annexation processes, and the importance of understanding these mechanisms. Communication strategies. Effective communication strategies were highlighted, including the use of multiple channels to disseminate information and engage residents. Community involvement. Maureen and Holly stressed the importance of community involvement in decision-making processes, ensuring residents' voices are heard and considered. Upcoming meetings. Maureen announced upcoming meetings, including the community-wide meeting on May 10th and other special meetings. Community-wide
You did that?
meeting.
I don't think I do.
I think that was you.
Was that me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you.
Holly announced upcoming meetings. You're right. I
Kinda
did
makes
that.
sense.
Yeah, thank you. Upcoming meetings, including the community-wide meeting on May 10th and other special community meetings. Holly announced the next community-wide meeting is scheduled for May 10th, focusing on strategic priorities and community feedback. Special meetings. Holly mentioned other special meetings, including April 23rd ODOT meeting and the April 30th trustees meetings. Trustees elections. Participants discussed the upcoming trustees election and the importance of community involvement. Election details. Participants discussed the upcoming trustees elections, noting that all 3 trustees positions will be up for election in November. Community involvement. The importance of community involvement in the election process was emphasized, encouraging residents to participate and vote. Meeting adjournment. Maureen adjourned the meeting, thanking everyone for participation. Follow-up tasks. Community meeting attendance and analysis. Analyze the list of attendance from community-wide meetings to identify the number of new participants compared to previous meetings. That would be Holly. Community meeting engagement. Discuss ideas from the personal group on how to increase engagement and reach more people in the community. I'm not sure. It says David. I'm not sure who committed to that. If it was me, I don't remember that either.
Everybody was.
It's in the
Yeah,
minutes.
okay.
Well, we had to talk about it. It's on the minutes.
Yeah,
I really don't remember that at all.
yeah. I think I said that we needed to have more education, but I don't remember specifically stating it that way. So we'll say Holly. Columbus meeting summary, send notes from the Columbus meeting to David, which I think is actually, no, it was to you, Maureen, for inclusion and, no, David, inclusion in the minutes. Amy, she did that too. Community email list, work on creating a comprehensive email list for the township, ensuring privacy rights are respected and people can opt in to receive communication. It says the team. Community meeting
But-
QR,
Time out real quick. Would that be the team or would that be on?
that would be the communications
Yeah,
committee.
okay.
I think it just the team discussed it, but it would be,
I
yeah,
thought those, the names in the parentheses were the accountable party, but that's not the accountable party.
I think it is the accountable party. I think it's, it didn't pick up anybody here from the communications team, so it was just saying team, is what it was saying. So but I agree, it's the communications subcommittee that would need to work on that. Community meeting QR code, create a QR code for the check-in at the next community-wide meeting to collect names and emails efficiently. We did that. Nobody signed in that way.
Didn't work.
We had signs right
Full
next to the sign-in sheet and everybody handwritten. Trustees election information, ensure information about the upcoming trustees elections and application deadlines is clearly communicated to the township residents. I don't know who's doing this. It's team again. I don't know who was gonna do that. Public involvement and decision-making, discuss with the trustees the possibility of having a non-official vote or survey to gather public opinion on key issues before final decisions are made. And it says David, I don't know who.
Tuesday night at the communications meeting, we talked about the process for education around the upcoming election.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to hear that you guys talked about that. Lindsay is contacting the HTH and the Harlem Civic Group to work on kind of a three-way approach that we do perhaps more than our traditional, just one night of a meet the candidate, given that all three are up, given all the things that are facing the township, so that we can hear a little bit more or document a little bit more the candidate's view of what's important and what they stand for behind that. I will tell Lindsay, I'll ask Lindsay to involve you guys or CC you, Holly, as the fourth leg of the wheel here.
Yep.
As those ideas come together.
Okay.
We talked about that quite a bit the other night, Tuesday night.
Can I ask, what did we use for this? Cause I know you adopted Firefly shortly later.
Yeah, I did adopt Firefly, but he's using
Teams.
Teams.
Is
He's
it
using
Teams? Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
You did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Minus all the Davids.
We
in
don't know
here.
who did.
Well, it's Dutch.
I
but-
know it's Dutch, but David wasn't the only person.
Right. He just ran the whole meeting.
He's
and-
This is why I was trying to get more than one mic.
Mhm.
So we have a better chance.
Yes.
It'd be interesting to have both. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so too.
Mhm.
It is nice to have.
Is that the
It's
end?
already
That is
good.
the end.
Okay,
I noted two corrections, main corrections, the non-annexation
Mhm.
process and then blending.
Yeah.
Instead of.
And then there were a couple of places where, I guess that's it. I just misspoke and said it should have been
Different
me
names.
and should have been me, not you.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I did send out like 5 minutes after you guys all left your house.
Yeah.
A,
I read it.
the modification one I just sent
The
out.
one that you sent.
You're a rock star.
I read it in the car.
That's
In the
good.
car.
Well, that's while you were driving.
remember.
I was parked over there.
He was just that early in.
I sent both the Word document and a PDF.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I did pull up the Word document that you sent. That's what I was reading.
Okay,
Yeah. That you just sent at 5:01.
all right.
Yeah. Yep.
So you're recording so you can capture
Yeah,
the
that's-
changes that needed. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion to accept the minutes as modified.
And a second? Thank you, Joe. Aye,
Aye.
nay. Okay. Minutes are approved as corrected. Thank you. Before we do the review of strategic priorities, is there anything from the ODOT meeting or anything like that that we should cover?
She went to the ODOT meeting.
Honestly, I think it was just, it was more information more than anything. I'm happy to distribute what I collected. But it's really just overall, it was a bunch of different stations kind of talking about the same information with different, kind of different, parts to the project, because it's obviously so multifaceted from.
So
different
it was
ways.
like, boards that.
Yeah.
Like
Lots
plans
of,
and diagrams.
and lots of handouts, yep.
Okay.
All pretty similarly formatted, just different components.
Why
of
don't
those.
you scan in what you collected and then I can email it out to the whole
Happy to
group?
do so.
Thank you.
We don't have a Google Drive or something where we can go to or drop off.
I can ask the township if they have something. Do you know from a communication standpoint? Yeah, I don't.
Strong use of technology. Okay, very good. Thank you.
I have Dropbox for Crossroads. I could make a separate folder that's outside of my work one and just call it Harlem Township Strategic, right, and then give you guys access just to that folder.
And I like the idea, just
Yeah.
my response is, if we only got a meeting here.
I know, if we were going longer,
It's
yeah,
wild.
it's probably not worth it at this point, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Okay. And I guess we'll get started.
Yes.
Strategic.
Yeah,
priorities.
so we're gonna pull out this handout and this handout. So on April 30th, the trustees held a special meeting just to review information that they have received to date from the public during the public meetings, through the soup sessions, through any type of information that they have collected on the strategic priority process. And I gave them a brief overview of what I heard during the meetings. I gave them that handout that we reviewed at the last meeting that talked about strengths, opportunities, aspirations, results, and went over that with them. The thing that really rose to the top to them was that there was a lot of rural, a lot of agriculture terms, desires that were mentioned during that process. And the trustees were very upfront in the fact that with the sewers coming, that is it really realistic to think that we are going to be an agriculture community? And the point was brought up that there are three large farmers that are really who we have in the township that farm. So the question was, do we really have an agricultural community economic base right now? And we really might want to redefine what Harlem Township is. And so there were terms that were thrown out, such as country suburban, terms called exurban. So there are different ways to define the community. It's not necessarily these really large industrial farming economic based communities. It's more a large lot residential community with a few farms, smaller farms integrated in. The term hobby farm was coming up. Homesteaders. So yeah, so they really wanted us to make sure we were shifting our mindset from that larger farming community to more what a larger residential, large lot residential type setting.
Do
I
we
like-
know the percent of land allocation that is farm versus large lot versus commercial?
Yeah, I mean, we can probably do an analysis to get to some percentage of that,
Just,
yeah.
I mean, it feels like there's a lot more farmland than just.
So,
large
and this
farm.
came up Saturday too, and the response back, and Dave, Jackson, thank you, I wanted to say Miller. And Dave Jackson spoke up at the meeting and said, really, it's about how much we're producing and who is actually like pushing that product out. There might be other farms that people are farming, but
Tree
are,
farms.
yeah, but
I
there's,
think it's good to define what we mean.
yeah,
By,
Yeah.
like, is it the economic base?
right.
And
I would agree that it's probably not. Is it activity that goes on in the township?
Probably,
is.
yes, yes. And I think that's what the trustees are trying to separate out.
Yeah.
It's not the economic base, but is it reality that we're seeing that? Is there's large lots, there's large hobby farms, homesteaders, that type of thing? Yes. And do we want to maintain that character as we grow? Yes. But is it really the economic base of the community?
But
Like
did we say
homestead.
agriculture or did we say rural?
There were both throughout, not
Not
just
the
you.
chat. I'm
No,
saying our feedback back.
no, I give the feedback of everything I've heard.
Gotcha. I
Yeah,
gotcha, gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
That's where I was lost. I
Yeah.
was Like,
So,
sure, we said agriculture.
yeah,
Okay, got it.
rural is necessarily, isn't the same as agricultural.
There's a lot, still a lot of agriculture done here. They rent farms.
Mhm.
They farm other people's ground.
Right.
We've got people coming in from other countries that are farming,
I know,
and that's fine. And it's still agriculture.
it's agriculture.
Yeah.
I think that land analysis would be
Yeah.
good
Doing that.
because it will. Data always takes away emotion.
Yep.
Exactly where my head's at.
Yep.
Exactly.
What's the data say?
Yep.
And I think that we do really need to differentiate the
Yeah.
economic versus the activity.
I-
That needs to be differentiated.
In addition to us doing like a GIS analysis of that, I think that will also come in with that economic development component that the county is doing.
Mhm.
They will be looking at what is your economic base. So it will come out in the data that they're collecting too.
The economic base, but not necessarily the GIS.
So we'll do GIS.
Okay,
They'll
got it.
do,
And so we have
their,
both.
we'll have both.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the term homestead.
Yeah, and
I
that's.
like that better than country.
Yeah, that is actually in the notes from the May 10th meeting. So to give it in chronological order, the trustees narrowed it down to 5 priorities, which are on this designed copy. Country, suburban lifestyle and autonomy, intentional growth and development, maintaining internal and external healthy relationships, community identity and pride, and safety and well-being. So what we did from April 30th to May 10th is our team took those 5 priorities and we put a little bit more meat on the bones as a consulting team, not as any kind of residential input at that point. So what you're seeing in black on this document that says draft for public discussion, the black text is what we developed as a consulting team. And then we took that to the public on May 10th. And what you're seeing in red is what the residents responded with. So it gave us direction on, is it enough? Do we need to add more? So with country suburban, we are saying, describing that, I'm not going to read that verbatim. But then the action steps to that are agreements to prevent annexation, reimagining the zoning overlays, design and building materials that reflect the township's heritage. Those are just the 3 things that we gave examples to get the conversation going. And the feedback that we got was there's concern over high density housing apartment complexes. They kind of piggybacked on that's the 3rd bullet point down. Some residents were concerned about the 12 units going down to 8 units and that there should be more consistency along Fancher Road instead of having 2 different densities. So that was some feedback we heard.
I don't have those overlays
Yeah,
memorized.
I know. And
What does that mean?
I wish my screen worked because I could share, but on Fancher Road,
Yep.
we have an overlay along that roadway, closer to the southwest corner where the sewers are coming.
Yeah.
We made that 12 units an acre
Oh,
for the
per acre.
density.
Gotcha.
Yep. And then as we move to the east, we lowered that to 8 units per acre. And there was concern raised at the meeting that there needed to be more consistency in that because that's really one corridor and they felt like it needed to be all the same density. So
How
Uh,
popular was that? I mean,
it was one person that said
Yeah.
it. So, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not vibing that and I'm in
Yeah.
that, I'm in that.
Yeah.
corridor.
My concern with that is, okay, well, then we'll make it all 12.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what we want.
And I think that's what the person was pushing for, was all 12. It was a landowner that had interest in selling their land, I believe.
That's cool.
And I also heard, and do we have to really keep in that word suburban? It's kind of a dirty word. I mean, suburban. Now, you could say we're not going to really be agricultural, rural, but I think country isn't much nicer. Do we have to say country?
So the term that we have started to kick around, and it's a term that people use, but it's called exurban. And
Ex-urban?
exurban,
And that also sounds provocative, but
yeah,
by definition,
yeah.
it's very
It-
much
but
aligned.
To me connotes you have been urban and
Yeah.
you're going
Yeah.
That's why it's,
back.
I
That's
feel
why-
like it's a misleading
Yeah.
name for what it actually
Yeah.
is.
Whereas, why
So-
do we have to say country
So-
suburban? Why can't we just say? Because
Rural, I like the rural aesthetic. I mean, that's rural.
rural aesthetic
Sure.
country.
I will give the feedback to the trustees. I kept saying rural aesthetic on the 30th,
Yeah.
and I was getting pushback that that is not what we are today. So not that we,
So that is that's not what we are, or that's
that's
not
not
the
what,
desire.
that's not where we
I
can
think
be
that's where
with the.
we are.
Mhm.
I
And
think, yeah, and where we are is kind of defined, if we're looking at textbook definitions, is aligned more with suburban, believe it or not, which is a wild way to think,
Yep.
because I know that the rural aesthetic is what we lean into, but
Yeah.
textbook definition is otherwise saying that Harlem is more categorized in suburban even today, even without the utilities right now.
So
And
what
what
examples
is-
do you have, Chris?
I just Googled exurban.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. I was gonna ask, what's the definition of exurban?
Community or area that lies beyond the typical suburban ring of a city, typical characterized by low population density and a connection to city through commutes and economic ties.
I think that does.
It does
Yeah.
describe you.
Right.
To
It's-
a T.
There's
Yeah.
Right.
another information education.
Exactly. And we, when we get to the frequently asked, questions, we'll get there. I'm not gonna jump there now. We talked about putting these terms in there, but we were doing it late yesterday.
Okay.
And we were coming up with, solid sources on it, so I didn't put them in yet. But when we get solid sources to quote.
Thanks.
And is that
is helpful.
the letter X or EX?
Yeah.
Yes. But it does describe you to a T.
Yeah.
It's,
It really does.
is
think it
is that just one, Chris, one word, EX urban?
Mhm.
Okay, and not.
Yep.
All right.
No,
I think the way it sounds,
It's a provocative
It's-
name.
it's not, because, even though, yes, sewer will come in, people will sell their land. We will not be required, if we're on septic, to go to sewer, so we will not really be a conventional suburban area.
Is one activity on the south corner of the county gonna define the rest of how we view the rest of the township? The county, the whole township?
But
I mean,
the
it's not
sewer-
going through the whole,
The sewer is going to come all the way up to Duncan Plains at a minimum. That is the plan for this,
is that
I
halfway?
mean, the Duncan
That's not
watershed.
even,
That's not even halfway.
Mhm.
it's not even happening.
But
That
eventually,
defines the.
it'll creep and creep and creep.
Sure, but we're not,
Not there
we're
yet.
we're doing a strategic plan for a
25
defined period
years,
of
yeah.
time. Whatever,
Maybe we
just-
could give some feedback. Is there?
That's what this group is here
Yeah,
for, is to
right.
give that feedback back to the
I
trustees.
think country suburban, it sounds like a car. It's, it's.
Oh, it is, and a suburban's a car. When I looked it up, it came up with a car.
I don't mean to be. Well, but
I like it.
words matter, right?
Mhm.
And I think if we're doing a lot of information anyway in FAQs, the exurban has a definition and it describes us to a T. It really does.
Right.
Use the words that already exist and then help people know what the words mean.
Yeah.
So the only thing I'm gonna
Oh,
push back
okay,
a little
push.
bit more, not even, it's not even pushback. We all did these soup sessions,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and to a T, every one of our groups said we want to continue to be rural,
yeah.
right?
So we talked about this on Saturday.
Mhm.
And we talked about how, if you try to maintain a rural density, which is, large lots,
5 acres, right?
5 acres, 2 acres, and there's sewer available, the township is setting itself up for a lawsuit, a potential lawsuit, because once those sewers come,
By developers?
Yeah. By
owners?
property owners who want to sell their land. So once that sewer comes to properties, there is a certain amount of rights that get tied to the property because you can increase your density based upon that sewer. And if you limit the lot size to 2 acres, 5 acres, something that doesn't align with what that sewer allows, the courts will say that you are partially taking that property. And there are court cases that we can cite that are, and we have to
No,
make
but
sure that we're.
I want to make sure I understand this correctly. 'Cause
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny to me. So what you're saying is the people installing the sewers are going to sue the township?
No, not,
No.
no,
People
no,
tapping in,
Property
no,
owners.
the property owners.
Who want to
So-
sell.
but you
so-
don't have to
so
tap in.
But they're large land, right? And once that sewer goes by their land.
Yeah.
If they want to sell their land and to a developer to tap in, they're losing a portion of their value of their property because
It's a
allows
property rights issue.
a
So
property-
when you
Mhm.
think about it, like we all live in where we want to live, right? But if we had 500 acres, say, and we could sell it for 15 million, say, if we get high density.
Yep.
But I could only sell it for 10 million if I didn't.
Right.
That large property owner can sue the township trustees for their zoning.
Yep.
Am I getting
You
this
are
right?
you're
correct,
on.
100%.
So, because they're losing $5 million.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
called a partial taking.
Yeah. Well, there's property rights. They should have the right
Yep.
to do what they want. I mean, it's a tough thing. It's a tough
Mhm.
gig.
I don't know if I'm right here, so I guess I can't relate. But
Yeah, I
seems
can't relate
cricket to me.
either.
So.
all right, we're spending.
But that we should be able to answer these things, I feel.
Yes.
We need to understand
Yep.
it and have the questions answered for ourselves. Because I wanted to stay the same. Alice, we all wanted to stay the same. But it's-
So what do we think that so our job as the township would be to establish what should be acceptable,
Correct.
right? But what is acceptable to the township and what is acceptable to said landowner or developer that wants to develop the land? That
Well,
we don't really know.
so
What-
you have the ability as a township to set the standard to which they develop. So you would need to set the density that's appropriate to accommodate the sewers. There are certain things that allow that. And then you would set the standards as far as aesthetics, setbacks, and what you want that to look
So the
like.
densities are already kind of encoded or codified by planners
So
and developers.
the agreement between Columbus and Delaware County allows for 4 people per acre. So you can
For
take
people or
for
for units?
4 people per acre, but what you can do is like you can increase that density and get that capacity in one area, or you could spread it out. And so
So you can average it.
you can average it. But that's how we work in our mind of clustering and getting so that you can preserve larger swaths of land.
So density in some areas to accommodate
Yeah.
that, to protect
Yeah.
the larger lot.
So everybody
sizes.
thinks density is a bad word, but density actually helps you protect land. Because,
Truth.
yeah.
Okay. That was, I think our feedback
Yep,
is
I got
clear
it.
that we like the
Yep.
word rural. We like the word homestead. We like the word ex-urban.
If it's defined.
If defined.
Is that clear? Does everybody agree that that's what we heard? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's important when we put the definitions,
Mhm.
that we're able to cite something.
That's why I didn't put it in here because I did not have an adequate source. I had Chat GPT telling me what it was and I didn't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, we'll have to have a glossary that
Right.
defines
Right.
ex-urban because it will be questioned again and again.
Right.
So, do we want to go on to the next strategic priority?
Yeah, so the next one is kind of hand in glove with it, intentional growth and development. This is saying what I was saying before, just a minute ago. Density is not necessarily a bad thing. If you intentionally put the density in key locations, it helps you protect the rest of the areas. So that's what this is saying. It's also saying that if you mix housing and employment, you create a more sustainable tax base. If you strictly put it just on housing, the cost to support housing doesn't, taxes generated from housing doesn't cover the cost to support it. So you need a healthy mix. What's up?
Taxing on the house.
Yeah, we call it-
And on top of that, more single-family housing usually leads to more kids in your school districts as well,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, so being intentional
So,
about
so we
that,
need commercial, basically.
some commercial,
Balance,
yes, about,
intentional.
Commercial.
yep. And then intentionally and proactively directing development towards the infrastructure, again, to help protect those other areas. And then incentivizing the development to occur in those areas, because then it'll help growth in those particular areas. We got similar feedback from the community as item number 1. And then the one thing I really wanted to point out from the community feedback on here is a communications thing. And everybody feels like there's so much information that it's information overload for residents.
We've done too much.
And so they think that it would be easier if like say an overlay is coming to a particular area, that area is targeted for a lot of messaging. Instead of, so there's the broad messaging that we still need to do. And I think it's a testimony to the communications group of that they're doing a good job. They're getting the word out. There's so much information coming, but if there's something specific to an area, making sure that they're targeting information to that area
For changes.
future changes. Yep. They also would like, and this kind of goes along with feedback you guys gave at the last meeting, they want us to do a future intent survey of landowners. So just kind of understanding what landowners' desires are. So just doing a survey on that.
We really need to make sure there's a way that's anonymous to get valid feedback.
Or the option for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm mixed on that, but I hear you.
So I can tell you, I worked for a company
Yeah.
that did employee surveys. That told us they were anonymous. I found out as I moved up the organization, oh, no, they're not really anonymous.
I
So,
work for very similar organizations.
so I changed,
Person's computer.
Yeah,
so I changed my answers,
Hmm.
okay.
you know.
Well, I think there should be an option.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
taken.
Yep.
Good. Okay.
Okay. And then the last bullet point, which is on the next page, maintaining the ability to take farming equipment on roads. How can we accomplish this? Again, in certain areas, we may have that and we may need to continue that. The big thing that was coming up was the roundabouts, all the roundabouts going in. How do we make sure that the farming equipment can go?
So is the farming equipment, I could only hear part of what Dave Jackson was saying. Is that impacting him moving his equipment through the township?
No,
The Fancher
no.
roundabout?
No,
Okay.
I think somebody else brought it up as a concern and he was responding to it. I think there was concern that the roundabouts would be built too small and not accommodate them. But I was saying at the meeting on Saturday that down where I live, they've put in roundabouts and they've put them in where the farming equipment and semi trucks can.
Semi trucks that
Can get
struggle
there.
with the Fancher Road roundabout.
Yeah.
Because sometimes drive over top of it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do they struggle or they choose just to drive?
Well, I'm just gonna tell you, they're probably going 70 miles an hour.
They're-
It's a big roundabout. They just do on the sidewalks. They go on the side, on the, whatever the concrete is. I know.
We're driving or is that struggle?
I would say it's
They're in
poor
a
driving.
hurry.
We're driving.
They're in a hurry. It's poor driving because they go by my house, right? So it's poor driving. I'm gonna guarantee, and they go on my road and they can't make the turn. They can't make the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's poor driving.
So
Anyway,
the only thing on intentional growth and development, and I understand the focus on sewers. But like roads and the width of our roads and we've got the Columbus or the Westerville bike have all their paths through Harlem. Or a lot of their paths are through Harlan Township?
Go right by our house.
You mean on the road?
I think,
Yeah,
yeah,
about
right.
30 people today.
And so I don't want to forget the roads, and as we look to identify higher traffic roads, and I was unable to make the ODOT meeting, but you know, whether it's bike lanes or just wider roads with wider berms, or I don't know, but
It's hard to stay a
there's
scenic
a lot
by,
of semis that
Yeah.
go down these little roads.
and it's really hard to stay a scenic byway when the traffic's going 75 miles an hour.
And semi shouldn't be going out. They have no business on their roads. They're cutting off, they could go faster that way. And they don't have to worry about the cops.
Sadly, we can't
There's no
solve
cop
that
there.
problem.
No, it's just, I just want the roads addressed.
Yeah,
more.
but,
We'll add some more into that roads. Yep.
and the, working with the county, that might be
Yep.
where we have the
The
internal,
internal,
external,
external.
because the county is
Yep.
responsible for the roads unless we were a home rule place, right?
But, and then I still want to make sure everybody understands the limited home rule. So even if you're a limited home, and it's on here when we get to the terms, even if you're a limited home rule, when it's a county road, it's still the county.
The township
not-
roads.
Yeah.
State sets the speed limit. Cannot
The
change.
speed limits, I agree. I'm talking about maintenance purposes.
Well,
Yeah,
but they set the speed limit.
correct. They set the speed
And
limit
they
and you
will
have to do a speed study to get it changed. I'm fully aware.
We probably don't want to empower local residents to stop cars for speeding.
So, all right, so maintaining internal and external relationships, making sure that both the, you know, the trustees, are talking with the residents, talking with the local businesses, and then also reaching out to regional stakeholders, including the county, talking to surrounding municipalities, understanding each community's desires and how it impacts the township. So the feedback that we got from that was that we need a solid strategic partner. There was conversation that there is talks about different partners and we need a solid strategic
We're
partner.
talking like the city of Columbus when we're talking about a partner.
They didn't really, the
There was
person
no build
didn't
on
say,
that.
there was no build on it. It was just, they want a solid partner. So.
And yet,
You
and yet, we solidly rejected
Our
it.
autonomy.
did. You did.
Strategic partner could be Intel, who's never gonna open it.
Yeah, they're
There was also concern over the limited opportunity to incorporate as a village. So again, when we get to the frequently asked questions, there talks about how do you incorporate? And there's certain laws in the Ohio Revised Code that require certain densities, and you have to be outside of a 3-mile range of existing municipalities.
Is that center to center or is that?
It's, we measured it from the edge, and so we actually did a map that shows that 3-mile range.
So it's
and
not
all
from the center,
different-
it's from the corporation.
Yes,
and
but
the
yeah,
road. That's
yes,
pretty
and so
awful.
there's very limited boundaries. It doesn't mean that you can't incorporate within those areas, it just means that that municipality has to agree.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
that, yeah, so it makes it very difficult, but you can still do it. But there's very limited area outside of those 3-mile ranges. And as these other communities start to annex, for example, the 1,000 acres in Sunbury, when that happened, that made the 3-mile radius creep more into
South.
Harlem Township. So. And then, wanting to see more about home rule statistics.
Meaning,
I think information as far as
how many are there?
how are they doing? Do they like it? Do they not? Yeah, that's
How much it costs?
Yep. So. Moving on, was that all for that?
I think so. Does anybody else have any comment?
Community identity and pride. This is just talking about making sure that we have a community vision, making sure that we're creating a sense of place. This is where we talked about creating a village center and also creating a branding system for the community so that when you drive into Harlem Township, you know you are in Harlem Township. And that's done with welcoming signs and directional signs to places of interest, and then making sure that we are supporting our local entrepreneurship.
We're
Um,
not talking black fences instead of white fences.
How about no?
Why can't we do that now, the branding? Why do we have to wait for that?
You don't
I
have to
mean-
wait. I mean, we could, that can be I think we probably should get through this plan, but we're gonna be done with this plan in the next
Yes,
couple
but
of months.
It's.
That could be a
it's still-
short-term recommendation.
Instills
Yes.
pride in
Yes.
the community in
Yeah.
which we live.
Yep.
By having those signs.
Yep.
Love Genoa Townships, I think.
Great. And then the feedback is talking, I don't know how agriculture came up and how we define why it came up under that one.
Comment in this.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure why that's there.
Hmm.
And then the comment is how do we define agriculture, but I'm not sure why it's coming
remember
into
that.
that category. I feel like it should have gone up in the other one.
Mhm.
And then could we incentivize and attract agritourism such as wineries? I think that does fit under community identity because that
I think
helps
that's-
you create an economic component. It
Mhm.
helps you create an economic component that aligns with that rural aesthetic. I'm gonna go there.
That
And
local
that's what we got.
sourcing. It's cool.
Yeah. And the other thing that I will say that I did have someone come up after the meeting that told me that they really like the horse farms and building upon that too through
So
this.
Jeff brought up a great conversation the last time we were here about developing land banks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I don't know that I've seen
Did
that.
that get captured anywhere?
Yeah,
We should capture it, was really.
I guess that would be feedback and community identity. 'Cause
Mhm.
I thought about that driving the other day. There's that house for sale on the corner.
Oh, like through the county.
And I'm
limit?
like,
No,
well, that
like
should
the
be the
Granville
first
open
land
space park.
bank purchase
Yeah,
if we want to do anything with Center Village.
that wasn't captured anywhere. The one on the corner of Center.
Yeah, they're
Across from Picasso's.
yeah.
I-
I
That's
mean,
a-
if we were to do it, that's an ideal location if we're gonna do something with Center Village. That
Right.
corner lot.
I added it.
My big question on that is the township wealthy enough to do that?
So can
I
I,
think there are people in this, to his point.
Do we want to revisit that conversation real quickly? That might be, can we do that here?
Yeah.
Jeff, do you remember what you brought up last time?
Well, I was just saying that we have, there's money in the township. There's people that would invest in the township, protect the integrity of the township within their own. Within their own doing, not just relying only on the township. On the township, and if the rules were in place and. Said owner wanted to purchase land to. Maintain that autonomy.
Hmm.
That we could as a township or as a group or as a. Individual to be able to purchase
Sure.
property in a way so that it could be.
So there are organizations that communities can form called community improvement corporations. I don't know if we've heard about that, but it's it's considered quasi-governmental, yeah, where it's technically kind of an arm of the government, but with less like it can take private donations to capture and purchase land and use for
So that's a
purposes.
public-private partnership.
Mhm.
It's-
correct, yeah, it has a
I-
board.
I think that there's a little nuance to what you were thinking of, right, Chris? Is that?
Yeah, I don't care how it gets done.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we can go get a USDA loan or, I mean, there's
Yeah.
programs that
Mhm.
exist, but I'm not saying I'm gonna do it. I'm just saying.
But the
Oh,
land,
it should be
land bank is
caught somewhere
it should be
in this-
captured somewhere, so I'm not sure where that should be capped.
I think it should
Were in place.
go in the community identity.
If-
Or, I don't know, I think there could be intentional development.
Both,
Yeah.
yeah.
If people.
We need to
were
make sure it
comfortable
comes
with
in
the
somewhere.
rules that were laid out. And we're comfortable with the guidelines that were there, that their money would be invested properly and would protect their land value. And their feelings of where they purchased and what they want. Then people, I think that there's money in the township that people would be willing to participate in. Instead of seeing it, that's just giving people some input and allowing them to participate, giving them ownership of the township so that they feel like they're part of the community.
Yeah.
Listen, I love CICs. They're amazing tools to plan out and be intentional with growth and development or whatever the township initiatives are.
Could you repeat what it's called as community
Community Improvement Corporation.
improvements? So you say CIC.
Yep, CIC. But it's nice to have kind of that board structure too, to kind of check. It's outside of, I mean, townships would probably have a representative,
They
but a
do-
lot of that,
they
a
do
lot of it would
appoint a
be,
representative.
yeah, would be,
And the
property
township
owners or-
can put money into it too if they
Yeah.
so desire.
yeah. And I believe they have some tax benefits too, am I right? So
Yeah, that wasn't anyone.
I think that'd be really cool for a township to
Yeah.
have. I don't, hear that often. But to think that
Jersey
they're,
has it.
yeah, but to
Yeah.
think, oh yeah, Jersey does have
Jersey
one.
has it. Yep. All right, safety and well-being. We focused a lot here on making sure that there's fire, police, emergency medical. As we grow, as the township grows, making sure that's growing appropriately. The biggest comment that came out of here is that I touched on administrative programs, meaning township administrator, making sure that there's administrative staff to help the township grow in the right way. But the biggest thing I took out of that conversation was on Saturday was, as we grow, we also need to look at our building space. We need to look at our maintenance facilities. We need to look at our cemeteries. So not just the staff, but all of that. So that was the big feedback in that area.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
What's the latest with the town administrator?
So I know that they have been discussing it. I think there was money in the budget at some point for it. And I think that they are still continuing to talk about it. Nothing has moved.
It's really hard to find one, right? Is that?
It's not, I mean, you want to have a really good one. I
Yeah.
mean, in your area, you need one that has an economic understanding, that is the ability to communicate with both residents and the trustees. So you need somebody top quality,
Sure.
very sharp, and the cost that goes with that is,
That's what I was hearing.
Yeah.
There's a comment in here. Speed is concerned.
Mhm.
How can we address that? Was that how quickly we can do things? Or is that the speed that people?
Speed
drive
limits.
down?
speed limits again.
It's because the speed limit's 45 and people drive 70.
Yeah.
That's really the biggest issue. So I had just had one comment on this. Is there any way that you can design if we think of a village, are there design standards and stuff like that that make it easier to be safe, to have safe places? Is
Traffic
that
calming,
Yeah.
so there is.
traffic calming? I'm thinking even the way things are put together.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. But
Yeah.
like, there's design standards that help it feel, that makes you feel like you should go slower.
Yeah,
down
like
the road.
buildings closer to
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
buildings closer to the road.
It's a,
I think I'm stepping away from that whole thing
Okay.
right now. It's more like curvier roads,
mhm.
things that don't go anywhere so that there's one entrance. I'm just asking, are those things considered as part of our zoning?
That is all through subdivision
Yes, that's what I'm
regulations.
talking about.
And that goes through the county.
That's
So
the county.
then therefore you need to have internal and external communication again. And the difficulty with that, just speaking from my county perspective, from when I used to work for a county, is that subdivision regulations are countywide. So it is difficult for a county to separate your different design standard for you versus another part of the
Got it.
county.
Okay.
So that's something you have to take into consideration.
Okay. It's a little weird, but yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
All right.
Field trips.
That's just about the administrator.
Yeah.
Berlin Township, they just hired an administrator.
Yeah,
And
she's cool.
so I had talked to somebody in Berlin Township and they searched for a long time, to find one. And I asked what the challenge was, why did it take so long? And they said they had applicants that were that were good, but the dollar amount was the challenge.
Right, yeah.
And so essentially what ended up happening was, and to get what they wanted with the quality of administrator that they wanted, the dollar amount didn't match. They had to bring the dollar amount up.
Right.
So I think at least speaking with Berlin would be a good.
Yeah, so,
Be a good match to figure out, because they're close to the same size.
Yep.
Same.
we anticipate when we do this draft plan that we're gonna reassess what the township administrator positions look like surrounding you. We did it once already, but we're gonna redo that.
Yeah.
And, you know, who has township administrators? What are their backgrounds and what do they pay them right now? So that you guys have a.
So it's competitive.
Yeah,
Is their township administrator came from Randy.
Yeah, she's really good.
That's a good one.
yeah, she's good.
So. That was just information I don't speak of. Just from talking to people.
Sure. All right. Field trips? Yeah.
Let's talk field trips.
All right, so I,
Cool, I like that.
yeah, I provided you with a list of field trips, places potentially you could go for field trips. I know Jeff sent me some additional Amberlin, I think is the name of it, Aberlin. I added it there in Lebanon. Very cool community. Super cool. Very exactly what you're talking about, building that agricultural rural character, but clustering the houses, having some on-farm activities. I think somebody really needs to go down and
I would be willing to do that, actually.
Okay.
We have family there.
okay.
In Monroe, so it's just really
Yeah.
close by.
I have family in Lebanon, so next time I'm down that way, I'm gonna go too. So I think it's,
Cool website.
yeah.
Yeah, they did.
So Holly, if I can ask, the potential field trips,
Mhm.
I'm assuming these are all gold standard communities. We're not gonna be, we don't have anything on this list of communities that are going through mass development changes and struggling.
What not to do.
Yes, and I think we should make sure we visit those places too. And one of them, I know it's a city, is Pataskala. And everything that's going on with Pataskala and its expansion, there's the good and the bad. So I think we want to make sure we don't just look at the great stuff. We look at places that are struggling with
Right,
their
yeah.
growth and check those
Yep.
out. So
So you logging on from Pataskala?
I would, yeah, if it's, I don't know if these are necessarily townships, are they cities?
Some are
are they
cities,
villages?
some are city and some of them are townships.
Does everybody else think that's a good idea? I think it's a great idea. I mean,
I
You need to
I
have-
would.
Yeah.
you need to have-
I would
Find out what
definitely-
didn't work and what got out of
Yeah.
control. I mean, I don't know, I mean, I'd be interested in the feedback of why Bridge Park, only from its high density,
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
if that's
just on there as
we're
a
going for.
possibility. If you guys don't want to go there, you don't have to go there,
I
but
sent you a couple, but.
yeah.
Well, I think a lot of these, like as I
Oh, yeah,
went
I'm
through,
sorry, you
as you're
did say
looking
that today, didn't you?
at Pinnacle and you're looking at a lot of if you're looking that jumps out at me is that would be a community that I would think as a whole, if you sent a picture to everybody in township and said, is this what you want Harlem Township to look like? That everybody would, pretty much, anybody that I talked to would absolutely have a connection, saying that's absolutely the furthest thing from what we want.
What place is this again?
Pinnacle.
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 it's a golf.
It's
Why don't you go down and play golf there and then check it out?
Yeah.
Have the township pay for my golf. at Pinnacle?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that you have to have things on there that you don't
No,
want
absolutely. No,
to,
absolutely.
right?
No, I
Yeah.
understand. I understand. That goes
Yeah.
with the negative
Yeah.
or whatever, but
Yeah.
as you go through and you're mapping that out and you're looking at that, like, okay, this one's gonna be on the side of
Sure.
Not.
Mhm.
way, higher density, and if there is a higher density area that we're gonna pin,
Mhm.
that definitely would fit the way higher density of
Yeah.
of,
Right.
you know, the only thing that's not high density in Pinnacle is the golf course.
Yep.
Everything else in
It's a good
Pinnacle,
golf course,
everything in
right?
Pinnacle is houses tied together, so, now it looks, it's pretty. I mean,
Right.
There's a lot of things they did that make it look pretty, but
Would it be helpful to come up with prompts as you?
Oh, I'm gonna send them questions.
Oh,
and-
great. I
yeah.
figured, I wondered,
Yeah.
if like,
So,
yeah,
guys,
we're
do
just
you
going
wanna
to.
sign Pinnacle?
No, because I,
You-
no,
No, okay. So-
only because I don't see that the direction that we're looking to go.
I will sign up for West Clay. We have friends that live not far from there.
Oh,
Cool.
So
Oh,
if we did this on a Friday,
Mhm.
then we would spend the weekend in Lebanon, Indiana.
Okay, sweet, good.
I loved that website on the West Clay. That is
Mhm.
Yeah.
beautiful. It looks like it took a long time. That was a big plan over a long period of
It's
time.
1,000 acres, I know that. I'd have to go back and see how many years it took them to do.
Their city center looks, did you guys look at it? It looked like something I can jive with. It's not too done.
Right, right.
And it's done enough.
Old American.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe I'm.
No, I'm not saying you're old man, I'm saying. It's like, it's not like calling you. I mean, it's,
I did get some excitement there. We call it field trips too.
it gets
I
to
do
that
wanna go. I'm
strategy
scared.
of
There's-
identity
yeah,
and
if you-
pride,
yeah.
right? I mean, if that's a strategic priority for us, it feels like we should prioritize our field trips to areas that have, so that we can ask, how did you get there from?
Yeah.
That's really where I was going
Mhm.
more is like, which ones do you like? And then talk to them about how they got there, what obstacles did they face? And what did they do right and what did they do wrong?
And what are you facing, like Pataskala?
Mhm.
Just put out a survey for bike paths and walking paths. And if you go through Pataskala Summit Road and you see, it's just a mishmash of all kinds of things going on.
Really planned.
And so they're coming out with that now, knowing they need to do something. So it's good to hear, what are your struggles right now? And then maybe we could get ahead of some of those.
Mhm.
Sure.
But so you were gonna do that, right, Alice? You were
Yeah.
gonna do Pataskala.
So I have Pataskala, Alice, West Clay is Dutch. You were gonna go to Aberlin Springs. Where do you guys want
Is
to go?
Jersey worth going to?
I think you should talk to them. I think somebody should go and we can set that up. Okay.
Jersey. The little town, I haven't been out there for such a long time.
Yeah, it's not incorporated. It's all township.
It's
But
on-
yeah.
Which is us too,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Jersey Township, so that's gross. The park, Grove City. That's another one
Yeah.
that's probably not, is it higher density?
It can be. It is also revolving around the horse theme.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's up to you guys whether or not you want to see it. But I would think if you did one of those, you could do both of those, and then you could talk to their city planner
Mhm.
there. But I mean, I get that it's more suburban than what you're going for, but still probably worth hearing some of the obstacles they went through and the experiences they had.
no, I mean, as a whole, any information that you collect,
Yeah.
is a challenge or a
Mhm.
challenge or something that went well,
Yeah.
whatever it is gonna be beneficial.
Yeah.
So Jeff, do you wanna go to those two? Would you be able to do that? I mean, schedule out?
Yeah, I can.
Evans Farms, that's kind of just a development, right? That's.
It's a small
Mhm.
development, and I would say that was one where the commercial has been struggling a little bit.
Mhm.
They've tried to redo some stuff to get it more competitive. So I don't know, you wanna go there? Okay.
Go to standardized permit. Priorities.
And I would suggest somebody also going to Jerome
I'll go.
Village. Okay.
So you're gonna give us questions
Uh-huh.
and key contacts?
Yep. And I'm also I'm gonna connect you all to the person that we know in that community. The only place I don't know is that Aberlin, and then West Clay, I have somebody, but not with the city, so I'll figure that out.
Do you have contacts for Pataskala? Anyone?
I used to. I haven't talked to anybody in Pataskala for a long time. I can figure it out.
Okay.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not too hard.
It won't be hard. We'll
We're
figure it
gonna
out.
in public sector.
Yeah.
Does
Pretty good
anyone
at that.
go to Ridge Park? Or do we want to just kind of scratch that?
That was the
Well-
one that's high density area.
Yeah, that's Dublin adjusting to Dublin's crazy growth, really.
It is, but I think, in my opinion, they went through a lot of, transition. So to hear what they went through, even though you might not like the ultimate product, I still think they're gonna have a good story to tell you.
What's the guy that's in the? That one.
Jeremiah Crossing, or
He's got his own data collection company now that kind of offered to help with some of this stuff.
I bet Dana McDaniel would be a
Dana
great guy.
Daniel, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, Dana Mc-
Dana would be a good
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
So I can talk to
Okay.
Bridge Park, I'll.
Okay.
I
Talk with Dana.
talk to Dana. Have a conversation.
He'd be great with that.
Yeah.
He saw it all through.
Yep.
Day one to
So he would be kind of
Yeah.
extra much.
And I also think somebody should go to New Albany, just because they're your neighbor.
I grew up there.
Yeah.
I can't go there.
Okay.
You have to stay away.
I have to say.
I would like to make a comment. One of the things that I think you miss when you get very planned communities is, and this is what I think what I don't like about, I'll just be frank, I don't like about New Albany, is that the housing is clustered in a way that's like obviously socioeconomic.
Mhm.
That's not real. That's
Mhm.
not how communities grow organically. So none of the communities, except for that one that we were looking at, it had like different level lot sizes and different prices housing. That's what creates a community, is when people.
Mhm.
I
So
could
I
not
just-
agree more.
I wanted
That's
to
a
lay
huge
that on the
thing.
table. That's
Yeah.
my biggest gripe about New Albany.
Yep.
And then there are, then it divides people and doesn't create community.
I could not
And I
agree more.
grew up there
That's
and
what
I
I-
lived with rich people and poor people and we were a community.
I agree.
Mhm.
I think that's a big trend that
Yeah.
we've been seeing, and kind of a suburban trend of like,
Right.
these are the people that we want. These are the people that we want to bring and keep only. But it's, I don't,
Right now,
yeah.
is we got the little lots, we got the big lots. and
yes. Well,
they're
intentional
organized.
development there's something for everybody. I
That
couldn't
happens
agree
in
more.
old Communities and new communities, I mean, even if you just look at Upper Arlington,
Mhm.
you got the South of Laners, and you got, so if you live south of Lane, you're wholly, not that it's every house, but that's a name that you have in Upper Arlington,
Yeah,
South of Lane. So, it's crazy, but it is.
right.
But, and so it happens in whether you're planning the community or whether you're not, it happens.
Mhm.
Eventually. it
I
does.
think the great thing about New Albany, you've got these huge McMansions, and you can lean out your window and get a cup of sugar from your neighbor, because they're close enough, they can lean out their window and pass it to you.
Well, there's that too.
Always been big proponents of mixed
We're gonna get
housing.
cups
so-
of sugar.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to lay that on. the
Yeah,
table.
for sure. Love it.
Okay, so I'm gonna say next week we will get you the prompts, the questions, and the contacts for these.
So
And
I
then-
would like to go to Bridge Park with you and to New Albany with you.
Okay.
Cause I think going to these places in pairs
Oh, that's cool.
is gonna be a better.
You can,
Yes,
yeah, the more ears you have
Yeah.
and the more eyes to see it. Yep.
so if anyone wants to go to Pataskal,
Tom, you want to get a Pataskala with her?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on this right now. There's some commitments that I can't plan much of anything.
So prompts, questions, contacts by next week.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else on that, on the field trips?
Just that we want them done by June 19th, which is our next meeting.
Done by next meeting.
Yep.
I saw that on there.
Yeah.
That's a little aggressive, but not. too.
Nice paper holly.
Yeah, I must have splurged on the good stuff.
Good.
Somebody just buy.
No. Real nice.
It is actually.
You can't unfeel that.
Nice.
Don't get used to it.
One of the things like as you're, I mean, 23 is like a big challenge, right? 23 is like the eyesore going from Columbus to Delaware, and that's always been a big topic of conversation of how that got developed and how that just kind
Because
of
there was no development, it was just unincorporated land.
everything just started
Yep.
showing up, and how that ended up being a very not done well.
Right.
And
that's-
I don't think anybody that lives in that area feels that way. I think
Yeah.
everybody understands.
Do you
that.
remember how beautiful it was, the Josephinium and?
So that whole process, going that whole thing with all the strip malls and all the whole thing, not that I'm against strip malls at all altogether, but just,
There's a way you can
Intentional.
design them.
it's just not done
Yeah.
in a good way, and it spans many different areas, so it's difficult, but just because it's difficult, it doesn't mean it can't be done.
Right.
I
And
worked
that's
in
kind of the thought process that I had with that community that I know that that's kind of a stretch
Mhm.
for some of the communities, or maybe a stretch. Just depends on the developer. You get a
Yeah.
piece of land and you develop, obviously, it's way less money in the developer's pocket.
Yep.
But there's economic ways to make those kind of farm housing communities work, and that the farm can generate income by selling food to a farm to table kind of residential or home, locally owned restaurant kind of thing, then they can continue to support that area. But very difficult. I could see how that could be like extremely difficult to do and to achieve, but just because it's difficult.
Mhm.
And if you want to have a good community, there's things like establishing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and to your point, I worked for Delaware County when they were evaluating 23 and trying to get those communities together, and it's always just so political, so challenging of like, getting everybody on the same page of, we all know that we don't like what's happening, so what are we all doing about it? And it was really hard to get people on the table, to get the right people to the table.
Like marriage counseling.
Yeah, it really is. And it's like, my favorite part of 23 when I was talking to communities was like, in what world is there Sam's Bar, a community college and a cemetery, like all in the same spot, right there? Yeah, right. And so, I mean, the definition of hodgepodge, that's 23, but I mean, it's still could be worth saving, but it's only a matter of time before it gets built out, and I would really hate to think it turns into like Morse Road, that's always the concern.
Once you open businesses, build businesses. Big
Yeah.
challenge.
Yep.
That's why we want to get it right the first time
Right.
here. We
And
don't.
it can take time too, so.
We're close enough to write.
Yeah.
Right.
So are we ready to go to our education tools?
Mhm.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so there is a 6-page document that you have. I don't think I want to sit here and read through all of these tonight. We'd be here forever, but you know how to read. And what I would like you to do is to read through it. Email me if you have questions, call me if you have questions. I want you to become very familiar with these terms. I want you to be able to rattle them off to your neighbors
Yeah.
to educate them. So
There will be a quiz.
I was gonna say, there's gonna be a quiz next time.
I have an extra.
Here. I have more up there.
Thank you. There's a. Page 2 is this.
So the question that maybe I didn't read it, the home rule thing.
Yeah.
Do you have to have, and if you have to have a township administrator?
Yeah.
Have that.
Yep.
And and we're not quite to the number for home rule yet.
So 5,000, so the 2020 census, you were just under it. We have had an attorney tell us that we can use the American Community Survey, which is done on a rolling basis. If we use that, you're over the 5.
I was gonna say that was the last number that I heard as we were just on.
Yep.
Question on the second page of the limited home rule. It says limited home rule does not allow a township And then the next one says, some of the powers granted to a limited home rule include. So those are not granted. So that's, I was confused. Because there's a not in the first one and
It's
then
not, it should be not in the. that's a
second one as
typo.
well,
Mhm.
okay. Cause I,
Which the typo?
on page 2.
Yeah.
The
It should
top one
say
says,
not granted right here.
yeah,
Oh.
so if there was a negative and not a negative on the second.
We will fix that and email it out to the group.
So the sum of the powers granted.
They're not granted.
Should be not.
Does not.
Not
include-
Yeah.
Good catch, right off the cuff.
This also, one of the things that we were concerned about from our team was, taking very legal terms and boiling them down to, layman's terms and losing anything that was needed legally. So we did have the township's legal counsel review this,
Okay.
so it has been reviewed by them.
Still pretty legally.
We tried really hard. That took a while.
Took a stab at looking at this.
I think he,
the
yeah,
ORCs.
ORCs.
Yeah, oh my
he
God.
legalese it more than.
So real quick, so why would you? Why would you subject yourself to the limited home? Seems very restrictive.
Saying what's the benefits?
Yeah.
I'm not the best one to speak.
Yeah,
I think
I
it
get the-
worked.
Jed, I get the tip, I get all that. This one, I just don't understand the
gives a-
benefit.
I worked for a limited home rule township. And I'm not the best one to speak on it.
'Cause you had experience.
I had experience. with it.
Okay, so did you have experience of why they decided to at the time, or were you not around?
No, I was
at
not,
that point?
I was at the county
Yeah.
when they decided to go that way, but then I went and worked for them. So, it doesn't give as much power as you think it might.
Yeah,
Um,
my stab would be the facade of more power, but
Yeah.
way
It-
more
it-
responsibility than power.
there's a lot more responsibility than the power that comes with it. The township I worked for hired a township engineer. That township engineer position was eliminated and they ended up just contracting with the county engineer.
Anyway,
I've read it, I just.
So what's the progression from? Wow, okay, never mind. You answered the question
Yeah.
earlier, like making Center Village a village. That's the. We
Hmm.
talked about that.
I think the main thing for me would be that if you couldn't get water from Delco or something like that.
Yes.
Having the capability to actually create services that you don't, as a township,
Right.
can't.
Right.
So say Delco says, no,
Right.
we're not doing it. That would seem like an advantage. To
Mhm. I
build a reservoir,
agree.
say, if you
Right.
wanted to do something
Right.
like that, or
Yep.
get your own sewer or
Mhm.
that kind of thing.
Yep.
The other thing is I kind of like the township road control, honestly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, even in the township that I worked at though, they had a hard time because the roads that they were having trouble with were county
we're county
roads.
roads, not township roads.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, so let's go ahead and we'll review that next time. Email or call Holly with any questions and comments. And then we have review calendar and process to complete the draft.
Yeah, so our intent right now is that our team is going to be drafting a plan between now and the end of June. This is going to be done in conjunction while you're out doing your field trips. We will incorporate your field trip information into that draft plan. So if we get it on the 19th, we have a couple weeks to get it into that plan by the end of June. So we will have 5 chapters to this plan. It's gonna be an introduction history chapter. So where has the township been? What are, what's that history of what's happened up to this point? Then there's going to be an evolving conditions section. I always tell the township that this township doesn't have existing conditions. You are constantly evolving. So we're going to capture where you are at that time in that plan. Demographics, what your roadways are, what where the infrastructure is, where it's coming to, and all of those like evolving conditions. And then chapter 3 will be the strategic priorities that we reviewed tonight with all of the feedback that we received through the public process, including the steering committee. And then it'll identify, that process of how we got to those priorities, and then describe the priorities in that chapter. Chapter 4 will be the economic development plan that the county and the Montrose Group are developing. They are on a little bit different time frame than what we're on. They are just getting started on that, and it's about a 90-day process for them. So we are probably going to have a blank chapter 4 for the first draft of this document.
Placeholder.
And then chapter 5 will be recommendations as far as what we can recommend up to that point. I'm sure we will be adding additional recommendations when we get the economic development component, or altering some of them based on that. That's kind of where we are with the actual strategic plan that we are preparing. To kind of piggyback on that economic development component, we as Crossroads will be providing information to Dana regarding this process, so that he understands, what we've heard, and being able to integrate that into his plan. He'll probably have stakeholder interviews as well with different entities. And then doing all the data collection and coming up with what that strategy is. Like I said, that'll take about 90 days. The other things that are happening, Trustee Trainer is holding a large landowner meeting on the 23rd, and it's large landowners near the southwest corner where the sewers are coming.
May 23rd.
May 23rd.
Is that open to?
No, it's not. It's just the landowners that are invited. He wants everybody to know that he's having it, but it's just the landowners.
Large landowners, owners of large parcels of land.
Yeah. If only.
Let's get the CIC first here.
Yeah.
Like-
So owners of large parcels
Yeah,
on the south.
southwest
Western
corner
corner.
where the sewers are coming. And then the other meeting that's a Delaware County driven meeting, it's also not open to the public, is a regional meeting that they're convening of the different townships and municipalities in this area. I believe that's on May 20th. I'm not even allowed to go to that meeting. So.
Who is going to that meeting?
I think Trustee Trainer's going to that. They invited, that they asked for one trustee or one council member, I think, from each
What's
community.
Adam doing?
He's working all the time.
So what's the focus of the time frame? Why the time frame which you guys have selected for the end date of the report for Crossroads?
So we assumed it would take us the 6 to 7 months. That's just how we laid it out. And we started in January. It took us to the end of July. We were hoping that the economic development part would fall in, but it just didn't fall right exactly with our
So would
process.
it be better, instead of doing a revision for that, than to, since a lot of the push,
Mhm.
since the sewers are backed up a little bit, time frame, and Intel's backed up.
Mhm.
Right. Everything seems to have slowed down as far as the driving factor with the sewers. That was one of the scary things. And in the sense of how quickly things will progress.
Mhm.
And then also with Intel slowing
Yeah.
roll a little bit.
Right.
So should we
Your
follow suit? And
At the end of July.
Your
Yes.
contract is, okay.
Yeah.
what's that?
Their
Their
contract.
contracts.
At the end
Oh,
of July, it could be extended if
That
it
makes-
need be.
That makes,
That yeah.
that answers a good portion.
That's the driver.
Okay.
But,
A driver.
the, The other component to that though is if we get a draft plan to you at the end of June, that gives you the opportunity to review it. And we can make revisions based upon your feedback too, because I don't want to just throw a plan in and say, we're done. I want to make sure that it's saying what you want it to say.
Right.
So I think it's good for us to be getting that initial draft together.
And then
Yeah.
we have time
Yeah.
to review it,
Yep.
really look at it.
Yeah.
Can I make a comment? The other reason it would be important to hit that timeline is going back to the discussion of this fall's elections. With all three trustees coming up, is I think it will be a terrific sort of stalking horse document to use. To put questions to the candidates and to
good.
hear,
Mhm.
okay, are you with it?
Yep.
Are you against it? Do you have some of your own ideas of things you'd like to see done? I think it's gonna be a critical election this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Given what's out in front of us. So I think this could play a significant role in working with the communications and the other two groups I mentioned earlier to utilize it in a way to try to elicit commentary from the candidates and just kind of see what page they might be on.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good
Mhm.
point.
Mhm.
That's a good point. Is that you have something with meat to be able to ask questions.
They can
Well, you're
react to it.
representing feedback from the community, not feedback from Harlem Township government,
Right.
Right.
right?
So,
Did you have a comment, Chris?
Well, I was just trying to align the calendars there. I mean, and I get it, and I'm not, it's a great idea. I'm just, if the economic component, if the draft of the economic component isn't coming until 90 days gets us to August,
Mhm.
then you got a month of drafts. It's cutting it pretty close.
Yeah, but you'll have the first drafts
Yeah.
without the economic, and that could be an addendum into it
Yeah, no, I get it.
when
It's
it's
just-
available. Because a lot of the stuff of these 5 points have to do with what people's expectations of what the lifestyle is going to be in Harlem Township.
Sure.
And what kind of a place do you want to live in, you know? And I think that is where it'd be nice to hear some detailed thinking coming from the candidates.
It's always good to have something to react to. So when do they have to declare candidacy? Do we know?
August.
August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact date in August, but
Bob's.
August 6th.
Thank you,
That's what I was
Bob.
gonna Say, Bob, 'cause he corrected me on Tuesday night, but.
August 6th, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bob's the voice in the sky.
so last trustee elections, did all trustees run opposed or were they?
No, you know what, can I'll answer.
Thanks.
So the last time there was an election, we had one new trustee. And, then we had the brouhahas that happened. And he left shortly thereafter. His name was Matt Yeager. And then Adam Holiday was appointed trustee to replace him. And then Carl Richardson left shortly thereafter. And trustee John Trainer was appointed to replace him. So that's when we were talking, we only have one trustee that was elected, which is Dave.
Yeah,
Jackson.
and his term is up. So literally, because you have to appoint, or the 2 appointees have to run now, and Dave's
That's a
is
very
actually up, so
different-
you have all 3 of them. running.
Wow.
So when
That's very-
they run, will we have this again in, I don't know what the term is, 2 years?
So-
Will all 3 run again?
So every 4 years, 2 of them are up, and every 4 years, 1 of them is up. So the 2,
The two
Two-
appointed are
with the
finishing
two
other
people's
people's
term.
term. Correct.
Okay,
so
It
if,
shouldn't happen.
yeah, it
All
shouldn't
these
happen
people-
again where all 3 are running.
But it is a little
possible.
disconcerting if we got
Yeah.
3 brand new trustees that don't have the history and there's a lot to learn to be a trustee.
There is. I always think it's always, I don't know why there's not more like citizens academies where if you're running, you should, like a prerequisite, do a citizens.
A
academy.
certification.
Some kind of a,
Actually, something
you
like
know,
that.
cause it's,
Education.
Well, there's
Yeah.
a lot.
there's a lot to know. There is.
I was shocked.
Yeah, cause you'll have 2 4-years, 2 4-year spots coming up and then 1.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
It's not gonna be, you know.
Actually. So any other questions, comments, or anything like that? I think we made it through this lovely agenda.
Motion to adjourn.
Great. There it is. You guys on June 19th.
Just out of curiosity, Holly, how many people from the public attended virtually?
Tonight,
Yeah.
just one.
Just Bob?
Just Bob.
Sayer?
Yep.
Answer your question, at the start of the meeting is 52% is agriculture as of 2019. All that is in the comprehensive plan
52%.
Of land use.
of land use.
Even for people
Of
who
acre-
farm.
of
like-
acre. What is defined as acreage being